Okay, this is Jacob Schmidt with deerhuntingschool.com. I'm looking at a property a guy had asked me a question about. He's a newcomer. I guess it's his first season or second season hunt or whatever. I'm just kind of looking at this property. This property here is kind of interesting. You have to follow my cursor here because I'm actually on Google Earth. I don't have any tools to draw with, but it's basically you see this field right here. It's basically everything to the left of this field, I guess up to this road area, up in this area here. It comes back. You see this area here. We're going to talk about that area in a minute, but it's basically all this area of wooded area to the left of this field. I guess probably down to about this road, down in this area here. That's what we're looking at. Now there's a couple unique situations here that a lot of people would overlook if they were looking at a aerial photo of this property, because you'd look at this, and then the first thing I noticed, obviously there could be some little funnels here out through this field, but it's, from my understanding, them fields are off limits, so it's not a big deal, and them are probably not the best funnels in this property. And if you look at that, by looking at aerial photo, you may think, well, there's no way to hardly see any funnels, and that is tough. So just follow with me here, because we're going to go back, and this is where Google Earth really helps out, because you can go back and look at years past. Now also, what we're fixing to do is we're fixing to go back multiple years. And I can tell you, as soon as I looked at this, I could tell that this area here had been clear cut. Now, obviously, I didn't know when I began to look at it. So this is going to be thick. But when they first clear cut it, when I look back, I found something very interesting. And you got to understand deer's behavior, especially your bigger, more mature deer. They like the security of cover. Now they're going to build habits. Okay, now. This picture here was in 2013. Now we're in 2014. So there's been. Now we're going to go back to the date it was clear cut. Okay, here's 2012. Here's a picture in 2011. Here's a picture in 2010. So it was cut in between 2007 and 2010. Don't know the exact date, but it was cut sometime in between then. I'm going to say it was cut pretty close to 2010. Okay. Now, what's interesting here is if you look at this is a pretty large area, and I haven't measured out. I'm just assuming it's pretty large. It looks pretty large. So I'm going to measure this clear cut. Okay. Okay. So from the top of that clear cut, you see there. Let me pull my ruler over here where you guys can see it real good. It's 940 yards, almost 1,000 yards from the top of that clear cut. Okay, so it's a long stretch. It's a half a mile from the top to the bottom, from the north end to the south end of this clear cut. It's half a mile. Okay, and we're going to measure across it this direction. Okay. Now there's definitely a hill there, but there, it's another almost 500 yards there. Okay, so you're looking at about a quarter mile, or it is a quarter mile across it. Okay, so any deer to walk around this thing, follow my cursor here. Okay, so let's just say a buck's coming down through here, just for the heck of it. For him to get across this clear cut without being seen, he's going to have to walk around it to get over to this area, to walk around this thing. Okay. But if you notice, there are these tree lines that were left up through here. Okay, there's one right here. Okay. There's one here, faint one. There's one here, and then here. Okay. Them, when this was cut, them will become funnels. Now, after a period of multiple years, okay, well, this was done in, we're going to say 2009, just for the heck. I think that's probably about when this was cut. Okay, so we're going to say 2009 to now, which is 2014. There was 5 years for deer to use this. Okay, so 5 years ago, these deer began using this as funnels. Okay, or these here. Now they don't have to use it anymore because it's grown up, but because of habit, learned, passed down from generation to generation of deer, these deer will continue to use them a lot of times as funnels, getting in and out and through this area. So them are spots. If I'm looking at this and I'm going in and scouting, I'm going to check them out. Definitely get in there and check these larger tree areas out. They're good areas to hang stands. They're going to have edge features. Let me zoom in here on this. Okay. Now that's at the very bottom. Okay, here. That's at the valley of this. It's probably going to be a creek. I'll bet that's why they left that. I'm not sure. But it usually is. They'll leave the trees on the creek. And that's probably what's went on here. I definitely would like to check them out to see if the deer are using them. And this one here is the same way, no different than this one on the side of this ridge. As a matter of fact, we may be able to zoom in and see. Yeah, I think it is. See, that ground looks awful wet to me. This picture was took in May. Here, so they may have a little water, but that looks a little wet, like that may be a dry creek or something. Wet creek, could be a wet creek, but yeah, it's definitely looks like a creek. Right here looks like maybe some water coming down, but that's a low spot too. The deer can, slip through them areas, but that's definitely one area of interest I would check out on this property here. Is that there, and any type of property like that, because of the deer have learned habits to use that area. Now we're going to go back to the recent photo. We're going to zoom in on it. You can't see it as well from here, but these are large trees, probably going to have some hardwoods in them. So they're, different times of the years. Some of these are going to be a good food source. But this clear cut is going to probably be, quite a bit of good food. Well, not good food, but it's a lot of food in there. Not the best quality of food, but a lot of food for the deer. Okay. Plus, you've got this here, which is a funnel for the deer. They've learned to use this as a funnel, especially the bucks that, year and a half, 2.5, years old, 3.5 year old, back in 2010, which, most of them are dead. But in 2010, 2011, 2012, them deer were using them as funnels to cut across this clear cut to keep from walking out in the open. Okay, and they use them areas when they go to seeking. So these are areas that I would definitely want to take a look at. Are these anywhere in these areas here because of that? That is something. And then and these bucks, as they're, they will teach them habits to other bucks in the area, and them can end up becoming natural funnels for deer forever. And even if this is never clear cut ever again, or any logging ever done in here again, could become natural funnels due to the fact of it being passed down from generation to generation to generation, deer taking that route. They take the route over and over, and deer 5 years from now won't even know why in the world they take that route, but they just take that route because it's been done year after year after year. So them are things, guys, when you look at aerial photos and stuff and you go back like we did here, okay, this is back before it was logged. It's nothing but open woods. But then all of a sudden, boom, the deer's life changes. They have to adapt to that. And as they adapt to it, it's going to create habits, okay? And these are habits. And actually, this funnel right here that's coming down through here is coming off the top of this mountain. and it's coming right down that valley. Deer like to walk that a lot anyways, down through there. They like to walk them valleys, and they like to walk ridges as they come through. That valley is going to be the path of least resistance coming down through there, other than the ridge. Ridges and valleys are usually the easiest path for them to walk as they'll cut through. So these are going to be pretty good spots as you look at older videos and aerial photos. Look for things like this here. There's a dramatic change in the deer's life. They had to adapt. Obviously, he's not going to walk 3 miles around this just to get over here. I mean, he will, but he may wander up this way, plumb no telling where, and then end up over here at some point. But if he's just cruising along and he's seeking for does and he's wanting to get over here, he's going to take that natural funnel that was left by the loggers, and that's going to become habit, because the younger bucks are going to kind of follow where the older bucks are going as they begin to seek. Their nose is going to carry them. They're going to follow the other deer, and that's going to go on for generation to generation to generation. It's going to be passed down. So don't overlook stuff like that when you're looking at aerial photos. Don't overlook things like this. And just because it's changed 5 years now, the deer can walk anywhere through here, doesn't mean that they're not going to still use that as a funnel to get through here when they're seeking in search for hot does. Good spot to kill big bucks. Probably going to be a hot spot. Some hot spots down through here. The only problem I see with it is you're going to have issues with the wind trying to swirl on you. Okay, so you have to deal with stuff like that, and that's just part of it. You got to learn how to hunt the wind and things like that. But the side of this ridge, no different. This may be another good spot here that was left at the top of this ridge. But these are definitely going to have some edge features on these. I would definitely check them out, look at them. You're going to have multiple habitats joining in one spot. So that's definitely, to me on this property here, I'm just looking at it on aerial photo, that stands out more than anything. Is that there, them natural funnels that were left, and then habits built through the deer using them funnels over years. They'll continue to do it for years and years and years to come. Some deer will never even know why they're using that area 10 years from now, but they'll continue to use that area. So that's the importance of Google Earth, being able to go back and look for things that were years ago, what may have built habits that a lot of people overlook, guys. A lot of people will overlook these here as being hot spots because they won't realize that 5 years ago that the deer were forced to use that for funnels for cover, to avoid walking out in the middle of this clear cut and exposing herself. So you have to keep things like that in mind and go back and look at it. So there's the before. There's the when it was a relatively young clear cut, and then as it gets older, lots of food in there. It's going to be a lot of deer congregating around that. I really think that's going to be the best spots on this property. One of the best spots if I was going to hunt it. There's multiple spots depending on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to kill a buck in the seeking phase, I'm going to wait it out till they start in search of does. I'm going to hunt them spots. This spot, I'm going to look, obviously check it out and make sure it confirms. But I'm pretty sure that's going to be some good spots to catch bucks cruising. And, you want to wait it out until it's that time. Anywhere around this clear cut, there's going to be a lot of deer. So I think there's going to be a lot of traffic coming up and through them areas. I think it's going to be a good spot. I mean, other spots is going to be, on the edge of these funnels here. If you can hunt here as these deer come out of this funnel, it looks like this may be a cornfield or something, or some type of field here. But if you can hunt, on the edge of these funnels, that's a spot. Right here, there's spots there as these deer may come out these points. Bucks may stage up here, waiting for dark before they come out here and feed. These points here, little funnel right here, where the deer are just kind of bottlenecked down. Them are the areas on aerial photo that you can really see. But I really wanted to talk about that there with this clear cut, because them are things that you want to look for as you go back in areas and think about how the deer's life was changed 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Guys, you can go back 20, 30, however far you can go back. You can think of how the deer's life will change. You can pick them little hot spots that a lot of people overlook because they don't go back and think about, what happened 10 years ago, what kind of habits was starting to form. And then deer are a creature of habits. They start a habit, they continue using that habit. 20 years down the road, they're using this one trail because one of their ancestors started it 20 years ago because of whatever the reason. It can be lots of reasons, guys. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. The person that I done it for, I hope it helps you out. Looks like there's definitely going to be some deer activity around here. You've got water, you've got food, you've got plenty of space, you've got shelter, lots of thick areas, a variety of food too. So I think there's definitely a lot of deer in this area. You got good chance of killing some good deer in here if you get in there, play it right, time it out right, and be smart about it. You got a good chance at it. So anyways, guys, I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Have a good day. Check out deerhuntingschool.com for more tips, information, things like that. Take advantage of the educational resources on the website. Guys, have a good day. Best of luck out there in the deer woods. Go get them. Goodbye.